right, so you could never have too many clamps. I guess it depends how much money you actually got. So this is our beginning a woodworking business on a budget, and I'm going to explain to you just how much money I spent on clamps and why I would do things definitely different the second way around. So this bench here's got all my clamps that I can find, and I'm not going to give you a cost breakdown of everything on each individual clamp or whatever. I add it all up. They're all about the same cost as this 8¼ inch DeWalt table saw, plus this Milescraft pocket hole jig, plus this combo pack of impact gun and drill from DeWalt, atomic, not the cheap ones, the brushless, and this rigid 12-inch sliding miter saw. And probably if I really get down to the math, it's either most of that or almost all of that as well. That's how much all these clamps cost. So I'm not going to try to explain to you about all into clamps today. I don't even have any parallel clamps. This video is about telling you where I would cut back and not spend so much on clamps. And this is why clamps get their own video, because this is most of the money that I've spent on tools is sitting on this bench right here, and I don't use 80% of them. All right, so we're gonna go over all the clamps, and hopefully I'm gonna save you hundreds of dollars. All right, so let's get to it. Okay, we're gonna start with let's get rid of a couple right off the bat here. C-clamps, my opinion, not really a woodworking clamp. They're slow as hell because you got to wind them all the way in. I usually use these for holding caps on pickup truck boxes and pushing back brake calipers and stuff like that. Never use them for woodworking. This guy, I read the reviews on this, said it was absolute crap, so I thought it was pretty cheap. I had to buy it anyway just so I could see to show you guys for the clamp video here. I'm going to show you why I hate this clamp and why the reviews are so terrible. Because you're going to take it, and then you got to squeeze it on there. And you're going to squeeze it as tight as you can. And then I can still pull that out there because you can't get any torque on this thing. Maybe you could hold a bag of chips closed with it or something. I don't know. If you guys think of what you can use it for, let me know. But I don't use it for nothing. All right, so face clamps, kind of a specialty thing. Use it a lot of times with pocket hole stuff. You know, if it's something you're going to use, fine. I don't think I've ever used them. Usually I just use quick clamps. Okay, if you got T-tracks, these guys are super handy. Kind of pricey though, but I love these guys. And of course, this is a cheaper version, the same idea, right? If it's something you want to use, great. I like them. I use them all the time. Don't need them. Pocket hole clamp. I just got this. I haven't used it yet. I know I'm going to use it a bunch. It's for holding boards together by having this go into the pocket hole, clamp them together while you're screwing everything together. Seems pretty handy. I think I'm going to use it a lot. Do you need it? Probably not. Corner clamps. Basically for putting together like picture frames and stuff like that. Look extremely handy. Had them for over 1.5 years. Still haven't used them yet. One day they'll come in handy though, but didn't need to buy them yet. Fancy corner tool. I haven't used it yet. Bought this about 6 months ago. This is the one that you have the strap that goes around and you clamp the 4 corners. And it's on the package. Haven't used it yet. Squeeze clamps. These are handy and cheap. I have no trouble with you buying these. I think they were only like $3 a piece or something like that. Okay, next up, one of these old screw clamps that, you know, your grandfather probably had. And you probably get them cheap. I think they're definitely worth getting. I wouldn't go out of my way to spend a bunch of money on them though. But I guess what they're really handy for, and I haven't really had the application for it yet, but I think that I will, is if you need to hold something upright, kind of clamp it like that, and then it holds your board up for you. But if you need to keep it stable, then you just use your quick clamp, hold that down there. Honestly, it makes it pretty easy for assembly or something. So I think I'm going to use this clamp. I like this clamp, but I'm not going to buy more than one. All right, so next up, quick clamps. These things are great. I'm sure you all know that by now. But let's go over the things that I've learned about these over the last couple of years. First of all, don't buy cheap ones. Found that one someplace. I bought this one. It's a cheap one. It's not too bad. But stick with Irwin or Bessie or DeWalt. Now, what would I do differently on this? Now, hey, if you can get a combo pack, and I know the Irwins are sold this way where you get 2 of each for like, I don't know, $30 or something like that, that's fine. It's the exact same clamp. Well, this is going to be a common theme going on here, okay? I can make this one just as short as I can make this one. Why am I bothering getting the 6 inch? Most of the time I just clamp it like this anyway, so you get a little bit sticking up. Who cares? I have not found an instance yet where I need it to be shorter than this. So that's something you can think about. Now, having said that, let's move on to the 24s. Same thing. I can make it just as short as the other ones. It's a bit cumbersome and difficult to deal with, so I definitely would get a couple of 12s. Now, having said that about the 24s, why not just skip another step and get the 36s? Because guess what? Just as small. Now, on a personal note for Canadians, this is the Mastercraft one from Canadian Tire. These guys, I have 2 of them, so it's not a fluke. If you squeeze these guys as tight as you absolutely can, they will just keep going and going and going, but they're not actually doing anything. They do not tighten up very much. I do not recommend them. However, the home hardware benchmarks, these guys really crank down. So you guys let me know what you think about that, but if you're in Canada, go to Home Hardware. Okay, so I think we got everything covered there. This theme is going to continue on to the next section. How long do you need your clamp to be? And then we're going to talk about at the end how many I'm actually going to use. I'm going to put them all together, and we'll see how many I got left. Okay, moving on. Okay, next step, F-clamps. These things are great, and they're not very expensive. So where do you think I'm going with this theme here? There's the 12s, there's the 24s, there's the 36s, and all of the clamps themselves are the same. It's just the bar length that's different. So you got to figure it out. For those of you who don't know how an F-clamp works, you just kind of slide it to where you need it to be and put it in there, and then you just screw it down, and that's pushing them apart, which is causing a wedge in there, which makes them rock solid. And they got a lot more throat in there, so they kind of compensate for like a parallel clamp. They work really good. I like them. Probably don't need this many of them though. Okay, here's so what's known as, I believe it's a bar clamp. This is going to be kind of similar to a parallel clamp. Now this one's very lightweight. You don't want to get too much torque on there because it'll bend it. I guess you can cut a piece of hardwood and jam it in there, make it solid or whatever, but I only use this for holding stuff together because it has a long range on it. If I want to put something together that's over 4 feet, you get these up to I think about 5 feet. Then just kind of get it on there and hold it together and then put everything together and take it off. But don't put any real torque on there because you will wreck it. So here's where we're getting. My wife's grandfather was a woodworker, far more advanced than me. When he passed away, went over to his place, and I got every single clamp that he had. And he had exactly 4 of these. That is every clamp that he owned for his entire woodworking business. All right, pipe clamps are the greatest thing and very versatile. Now this one, it's probably an 8-foot pipe that was cut in half. It's only threaded on one side. I'm going to show you what's better about these now. Okay, so we got our Bessie clamps here, 3-foot pipes. So the best part about a pipe clamp is, that's the exact same clamp, and this one's an 8-inch one. So you don't even have to even deal with the huge cumbersome, you just have to buy some pipes, right? If I want a 6-foot clamp, I just get one of these couplings, because this is just a 1/2-inch galvanized water pipe, National Pipe Thread, NPT. So just screw it together. There, now you have a 6-foot clamp. Now, the more you get these extended, the more torque is going to push on them, which is why you can get these in 3/4 inch as well. I'm just using 1/2 inch ones here because I haven't needed anything bigger than that. The 3/4 inch ones are much more rigid because if you look, when you get this extended here, you can get some give to it. But I could crank these threads in tighter too. If you just want to start out, get yourself some pipe clamps and just go to the hardware store, get yourself some pipes. And I'm just going to show you one last thing about these Bessie clamps and why I use these ones. They're more expensive, and I only have 2. I'm going to set them up like this. Just got the feet on there. Okay, so I'm going to clamp up my glue up here. My mock glue up. And then I'm going to take the cheaper, which I think these ones are probably about half the price. And then these ones I'm just going to put either underneath or on top. They also have feet on them, but they're nowhere near high enough for my liking. And then the other huge advantage of using these ones, the Bessie ones, let's say you want to put a cowl on there, then you have the height to be able to put your clamps underneath. So that's what I do for glue ups. Works great. But like I said, you only need 2 of the Bessie ones. I don't have any parallel clamps. I might buy 1 or 2 down the road. Longer ones, now that Vevor makes them, they're much cheaper. But you don't need them. You can definitely get by without them. So now I'm going to take this away, and I'm going to show you what I would buy if I was starting out. So here's what I would start at if I was starting over again. Keeping in mind I only really ever started out with a 24-inch squeeze clamp. This is a generous amount. You can do everything you need to with this, in my opinion. unless you're doing something specialized. But anyway, first thing, stuff one of these. I put the two 6-inches and the two 12-inches together because I know that's how they sell them in the kit. And we're going to have all this linked to Amazon links below as well in the description. I would take a 24-inch F-clamp, a 36-inch F-clamp, a 36-inch quick clamp. I would put everything else into pipe clamps. I would get the two Bessies, reasons I explained before. And I would get the 4-pack of kind of the cheapo ones, maybe get a couple different size pipes. I just bought a bunch of 36s so I have lots of versatility, but you know, just buy them as you need them. Just a regular pipe, nothing special about it. Okay, now, how much did we save by doing that? Okay, so all of this is about $200 US. Now how are we gonna put that into terms we started out with? Okay, so I'm not gonna have the money to buy the pocket hole jig or the sander, but that's gonna give me enough savings to buy the miter saw, the impact drill, and the table saw. That's a lot of stuff that I could buy. Obviously, I had the money to buy both, but if you're starting out on a budget, you're gonna have to pick and choose what you want, and don't overbuy clamps. Okay, so there's my 2 cents. You guys tell me what you think. Okay, so thanks for watching, and of course, tell us what you think, and like and subscribe. I don't know which video it is, but this is the next video in our starting woodworking business on a budget. So we're gonna link to the box up there to go back to the beginning. If you're starting out, definitely watch this course. If not, just watch it anyway. What the hell, eh?